Hello, my deaf friends. This show is for you. Now, what's this about?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness! Dramatic entry. So the thing that's really on my mind that's happened this week is which is all over the news, is the fake interpreter for Nelson Mandela's funeral. There's a lot of issues regarding this because, first of all, he was up there, he was interpreting, and no one understood a darn thing of what he said. The people responsible for hiring the agency that provided this interpreter ends up being not a real company. Like, they don't exist. They're trying to find them by address, calling them, stuff like that. They're just basically gone. So what really irks me the most about this is the entire time that this funeral's going on, this interpreter's up there signing, and what he's saying is gibberish. I mean, it's not making any sense to anyone. But for the entire 4 hours, so in the interpreting world, I'm not an interpreter, so I'm not an expert or anything like that. But in the interpreting world, an interpreter will sign for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then they have a team that gives them a break, so that they're not constantly, signing their hands off. I mean, the guy was up there for 4 hours interpreting gibberish that had nothing to do with, and they didn't even catch on and say, okay, maybe we should send a replacement up, or, interrupt during a break or anything like that. They just let him keep going. What feeds this fire is that, Nelson Mandela, he fought for oppressed people, freedom and for speech and for all those things to help people. What's kind of an insult is, we have the deaf world. And basically at his funeral, where this man fought for removing oppression, we had an actual culture that was oppressed because in a 4-hour period, someone didn't think, oh yeah, let's get him off of there because he's not making any sense. Duh. But the gentleman himself, he only had a year's worth of training in sign language in a town in Cape Town, Africa. First of all, there's a fake agency. They only paid him $77 a day. He's only had a year of training in sign language, which obviously was not sign language. I mean, it was just basic gibberish and all that. You look at sign language interpreters here in the United States, and they have to go through years and years of schooling. I know a lot of interpreters that actually, they have to take different tests to get like certain certificates or licensures that allow them to be able to sign for certain events and things like that. And I know some interpreters who have taken tests up to 8 times that they have to spend thousands of dollars for just to take the test, regardless if they pass or not. So the question that comes to mind that I'm going to ask you all is, do you think it's fair that someone who actually didn't know sign language and signs gibberish for a culture that's their sole form of communication is signs? Do you think that it's fair that someone who's had 1 year of supposed sign can be counted to sign something so prestigious as this? It actually reminds me of a quote that I saw posted on Facebook regarding this whole situation. If you think hiring an experienced interpreter is expensive, think about how much it is when you hire a non-experienced interpreter. Talk about the damage that's happened here. Not only is the deaf community insulted, but I mean the fact that they didn't even do anything about it, and the entire 4 hours was just gibberish to an entire culture and world. Sorry, as you can see, I'm just a little bit passionate about this. I have quite a few connections to the deaf world, and I'm very grateful for those connections. So in all honesty, this is going to amount to a giant ID10T of the day. The group that went to the agency that hired this man, the agency that had this man and this man, and then last but least, the people that didn't even think within a 4-hour period, oh yeah, he's not making sense. Let's get someone up there so that people would understand, and didn't do squat. So to all of you, ID10Ts of the week, thank you very much. Well, enough of my rant and rave, but like always, like, share, comment, and even favorite this video on your Facebook, YouTube, or even Twitter. and, you know, share with friends, family, and whoever. If you have any comments, questions, you can reach me at the links provided in the description down below, and I'll also provide links to the story which we've talked about today. I want to give a shout out to Missy Julian, who inspired me to use this story today, and I want to thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for following. Okay folks, so it's that time of the day where we're at the end. I hope you guys know that I love you. You have a great weekend. I will see you next Friday.